Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Goad. Today I'd like to read to you Sweet Dreams Pie by Aubrey Wood and Mark Teague. It was almost dawn on Willoughby Street when Pa Brendel lit the lantern and led Ma Brendel up to their dark attic, to an old trunk deep in cobwebs. "I haven't slept a wink tonight," Pa said. "I've been craving some piece of sweet dream pie, just like the one you made me a long time ago." "The last time I made that pie, you ate too much," Ma grumbled, "and your dreams weren't very sweet." Pa Brendel blew the cobwebs off the trunk, then threw it open, and all the cats in the neighborhood opened one eye. An enormous mixing bowl, a giant rolling pin, a gigantic pie pan, and a small brass bell glistened in the lantern light. "It'll be good this time," Pa promised. "One big piece of sweet dream pie, that's all I want." "Well then, I'll make it and you can help." Ma agreed. "But if things get out of hand, don't blame me." The Brendels carried an extra large utensils down to the kitchen and began to make the pie. When the dough was ready, Ma rolled it out on the table, and when she did, all the people on Willoughby Street, including Amy McPherson, started to roll out of their beds onto the floors. Next, Ma fashioned 2 giant pie crusts. Then the Brendels began to toss every sweet thing they could find into the enormous mixing bowl. Gumdrops flew through the air and rained down with marshmallows, candy corns, cinnamon hots, chewing gum, chocolate drops, butterscotch, licorice sticks, lollipops, sugar cubes, jelly beans, candy sprinkles, cookies, and more. Clouds of powdered sugar drifted out the windows into the street. A chocolate tornado sprang up and whirled out the door, knocking Johnny Lunds, who was trying to deliver the newspaper, clean off his bicycle. The enormous mixing bowl began to glow. A thick, sweet syrup bubbled up and oozed down the sides. The Brendels poured the filling into the giant pie pan and then wrestled the top crust into place. Ma crimped the edges and Pa poked the steam holes in. The crust began to move, as though there was something inside trying to get out. Pa shoved the pie into the oven and slammed the door. Quickly, he turned the oven dial. Past bake, past broil, past roast, to a setting that just simply said special. As the sun rose, the oven warmed, and the heat wave hit Willoughby Street. It was too hot to go to work or school, so everyone stayed home, doing cool things. Even Mary Chubb, who had never missed a day of school when it was library in 15 years, lounged beneath her sunflower. By noon, the delicious smell of Ma Brendel's sweet dream pie blanketed the neighborhood with a blissful aroma. Everyone was simply drooling to taste that pie. Even baby Robbie stuck out his tongue, thinking he could lick the sweetness right out of the air. The heat wave raged into the afternoon. It was so hot, all the air conditioners stopped working. No one was cool except for Perry Arbuckle, who filled the tub in his conservatory with ice cubes and sat in it. As the sun set, the sweet tree pie browned and the sky burned a fiery red above Willoughby Street. It was hot, too hot to eat so much, so everyone just kind of picked at their dinner, and the thought of that pie cooling in Ma's kitchen. That evening, all the neighbors found an excuse to stop by the Brendels' house. Pa set up tables and colored lights outside and invited everyone to stay and share his special dessert. They were thrilled, except for little Amy McPherson. Amy could eat no pie. It made her sneeze. The dogs jumped up and began to chase their tails. Ma Brendel rang a small brass bell. "It's time for sweet dream pie," she said. Pa Brendel and Johnny Luntz carried the pie out and set it down. Steam rose from the pie, and a thick fog settled over the neighborhood. Standing side by side, the Brendels blew upon the pie until it was cool. A welcome breeze sprang up, whirling napkins and party plates into the air and clearing the fog. For the first time in 13 hours, Willoughby Street had cooled down. Ma cut into that pie, and the neighbors lined up. "Now be careful," she warned. "This pie is rich. One piece is all you need." No one has ever tasted anything like Ma Brendel's sweet dream pie. It was so sweet, happy tears just rolled down everyone's cheeks. "Don't eat too much," she kept saying. "Only one piece or you'll be sorry." But no one listened. They all helped themselves to the sweet thirds and fourths. Pa Brendel broke his promise and gobbled down sweet sixths and sevenths. Poor Inky Kink had eaten so much he looked like he'd swallowed a bowling ball. When Myrtle Murphy's parrot pecked out the last crumb, a hush fell upon Willoughby Street. The neighbors thanked Ma and Pa for sharing their wonderful pie. Suddenly, they all wanted to go home and snuggle in their cozy beds. Some made it, others just dozed off along the way. Ma Brendel shook her head in dismay. After all that sweetness," she said, "no one will rest tonight." Then she went inside to get her broom. That's when the dreams began. Pa Brendel's dream was the first to pop out. Bigger than a dump truck, it galloped through the neighborhood, whistling for the others to follow. Dreams of every shape, size, and color drifted upon their dreamers and began to sport and play. All of the dreams on Willoughby Street tossed and turned in their sleep. Ma Brendel had never seen so many wild dreams. They were everywhere and into everything. The dreams were too happy and too excited, doing things they shouldn't be doing. When enough was enough, Ma took her broom and began to sweep, 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 until she had swept every last dream from Willoughby Street. All the dreamers, including Pa Brendel, sighed a sigh of relief. Finally, they settled in for a good night's sleep. From her bedroom window, little Amy McPherson watched it all, and for once in her life, she was glad she could eat no pie. The end.